What's up guys, it's your man, I Do a Barber, back with another video. And if you watch my Gamma unboxing in the review, I have many glowing things to say about the Gamma Ergo or the StyleCraft Ergo. I have the StyleCraft Ergo, whether you have the Gamma or the StyleCraft, that's neither here nor there. But I am in love with these clippers. So much in fact that I bought 2 more pair of this StyleCraft Ergo. So now I have 3 of them. Now one might say, why do you have 3 of the same clipper? That's where it gets a little bit tricky. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to do the Filthy Blends mod, and I'm gonna show you how I put the Andis Master Blade and the Fade Master Blade on my StyleCraft Ergos, and I'm gonna show you how to do it and talk about some of the pros and cons. Let's get it. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and press on the notification bell so you can stay up to date when I drop videos just like this. Here's what you'll need to complete the Filthy Blends mod. First, you will need the bracket. I will leave a link to Filthy Blends website in the description below. Of course, you will need an Ergo or a Gamma Ergo, whatever, doesn't matter. You'll need a screwdriver. I would suggest you get a good screwdriver, not a screwdriver that is flimsy and cheap. I would not recommend you use the one that StyleCraft gives you because it will not give enough bite to actually tighten down the screws. Of course, you will need an Andis Master's blade, either whether you want the Fade Master, the Fat Master, whatever. But for this one, we're using the Master's blade, and you will need the two screws for the Andis Master. I will also leave a link to this in the description below because not everyone has an extra pair of Masters laying around, therefore you will not have the screws. So first, what you need to do is you will have to take off the lever. As you see, I have the blue lever on here just because I wanted to kind of change it out and keep it funky. Now with this lever, obviously it comes with the washer on the screw, but if this were to come out, this little thing, because sometimes this little ball, this little click ball will come out, you want the short side pointing out and the long side in. If it does pop out and you can't figure like, man, which side should go in first, the long side goes in. Of course, there's a spring that's in there. Obviously, this didn't pop out. So next, we're gonna take off the StyleCraft blade. So pop these screws off. And of course, we are not reusing these screws. So boom. Next thing we need to do is take out the bracket from Gamma, because as you see, these screws don't align with the Master's blade, as you see there. So we got to take out this bracket, and it just slides out that easy. And next, you're going to take the Filthy Blends bracket and slide it right into place. And I mean, it's that easy, guys. And as you see now with the Andis blade, it lines up right with those holes. And if you choose to keep this, you can go back and put this on if you want. Now, I wouldn't recommend you, obviously, don't buy this bracket just to put the StyleCraft thing back on there. That's just idiotic. So now what we're going to do is we kept this in here. We made sure this didn't come out, and obviously if it does, you just put those little metal springs into the holes on that plastic piece there, and it will work out perfectly that way. For those of you that are curious, if you somehow lose the sighting of these metal springs, they go into a few holes there. You can obviously put this right into the cam follower. As you can see, that little shaft right there, you just push that right in there. That's if it comes off. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So the next move is putting the lever back on. So we're gonna put the lever back on. As you can see here, there's a little thing, you see there's a little notch that clips right into the bracket. And we're just going to tighten this right back up. This part is very, very simple. And you see now, the lever just goes nice and easy. So next, we're going to put the blade on top, and then of course line the holes up. Put the screws in, and now we're going to screw in the screw. You want to make sure you can at least get the first screw in. Now that this one's on, we can put in the second screw. Now of course, we're not going to tighten this to the max because of course we're barbers. We want to zero gap this thing. So I'm going to close the lever. As you can see here, the lever is closed, and you can see how zero gap that is. Now as you see here, lever is closed. You can see the gap there in between the blade. So what I'm gonna do is, because you can see the blade is, I can shift it that easy. I want to zero gap this thing. So I'm gonna push it down as much as I can, but I want to feel how well it zero gaps. Now, just looking at that, this zero gaps very easy to this blade. So all I'm gonna do now is, I'm just gonna put some pressure here and I'm gonna turn each of these screws. I'm gonna tighten them slowly. And when you're zero gapping an adjustable, you want to tighten each screw. You don't want to wrench one down and then wrench the other because the blade will shift. I know this happened a lot with the Masters and the MVs. There that is. As you can see, that's zero gapped. You can see it's pretty close, pretty even. And what I'm going to do, and the reason I told you to get a good screwdriver is I want you to tighten this down, because I had an issue when I installed this the first time. It was very loud. And I'm looking to see if I can fix this. It was very loud in the open position. So as you see there, turn the clipper on. As you see, turn the clipper on. And see right there, it's still loud in the open position. Big difference. Now, I don't know how to fix this, guys. Obviously, one of my subscribers, Ben Latempa, shout out to Ben. He said he got his to work. I can't get mine to work. If anyone has figured out a simple and easy way where this works, please let me know. Wait a second. I think I just figured it out. Okay. So the trick was, I just figured it out. It's the lever. Now, listen to this now. Open lever, obviously, not as bad as before. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tighten this lever. I'm gonna tighten that a bit. Now check this out. You hear that? How loud that is? Now let me loosen it. I'm gonna turn it off. Let me loosen it. See that? It's a little loud, right? But definitely not as loud as before. So I guess that's the trick, guys. It's this lever. So if you tighten this lever too much, it's gonna be very loud. The more you back it off, the less loud it will be. As you see from these Ergos with the regular blade, there's no difference in sound. But with these, this is much more tolerable than before. So that's the trick, guys. Just loosen the lever and you'll be fine. Now let's talk about the pros and cons of doing the mod. Now, pro, obvious one, you actually get to put a different blade on your Ergo. Now, the blade that comes on the Ergo, it works really well, I've noticed, on fine hair. But I've noticed on really thick, coarse hair, it kind of pulls a little bit. You can power through because of the power of the motor and the 10,000 RPM, but there is a slight problem sometimes. Therefore, you could put, whether you want a master blade, and this thing will mow through thick hair, no problem. If you want to put a wall blade, you can do that if you like the way those cut a little bit better. With the mod, you're gonna have to use the Ergo cutting blade. You can't use the blade from the Masters or whatever clipper you're trying to transform, because it's just gonna be too loud, and you don't want these clippers being too loud because these clippers are quiet and they're known for that, and that's one of the selling features of this clipper, is that it's so quiet. Another pro is that the mod is very easy to do. Unlike some other mods, like modding your slimlines, it's like hit or miss. Like it might work perfectly or it might just be a horrible experience for you. As well as some other mods where you're modding your double magnetic guards to fit on wall clippers, like any other silly stuff. No, with this mod, I mean, you saw it. Very easy. Now, another pro of doing this mod is right here. We remember when the cordless Masters came out and there was a lot of hype around it, and we're like, man, we get the cordless Masters, it's gonna be lightweight and cordless. Dope. But the problem with these things were they were loud. You hear that? Open lever gets louder. Compare this to the Ergo. you got to deal with the loudness of this clipper. Now, of course, it's not everyone. I think, who knows, maybe it was the first batch that went out that were really loud. Mine got really loud, but my other pair didn't. So I don't know what happened there with Andis, but that was one thing that people didn't like about it. The cool thing about this mod is that when you put this blade on here, it's almost like using a corded master, because this has a magnetic motor in it, whereas the cordless master has the rotary motor, and it has the torque to get through here. But with this, it actually gives you that feeling that you're actually cutting with the master. Now, you still get that sound as you hear on the Fat Master. You get that nice sound. Let me see if you can hear it. Not sure if you can hear that, but you get the master sound and that little crunch. You get it, and it mows through the hair. And it's crazy. I actually like using the master blade on here versus using the cordless master, because it just cuts better. I don't know what it is. I'm pretty sure it's probably the motor. Maybe it's a combination of this cutting blade as well, but I'm pretty sure it's probably the motor, and it cuts a whole lot better. Now let's get into some of the cons of doing the mod. The price. We gotta address the obvious. The price. The clipper is $200, depending on where you get it from. Maybe you can get it a little bit cheaper or buy used from someone if you're lucky. But then you also have to get the mod bracket, and that's $30 or possibly $35. Then if you don't have the screws, that's another $4 or maybe $2, depends on where you get them from. Again, all of the stuff that you've seen here in this video, I'm gonna leave linked in the description below, but that is definitely one of the cons of this mod. And I'm gonna be honest, after using these, it's hard for me to find any other con of using these clippers and doing the mod. I love the Fat Master on here now. I actually like it more than it was on the cordless master. And this blade as well, I love it. So I can't find any other cons outside of just the price. Outside of that, this is a major mod, major cop, major purchase, like whatever, do it. I love it. And I have all three, and this is gonna be my lineup. I've got this using the wall blades, I can use this using the double magnetics, and I can use this to clean up whenever the guards are not doing their damn job, because you guys know me. I love the masters and the cordless masters and the Fat Master blade and blah, blah, blah. And you can expect to see me use some iteration of these three clippers in upcoming haircut tutorials. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already, because I cannot wait to start dropping content using these clippers, and you guys get to see how I use them, how they cut, how they perform, and who knows, maybe you're just on the fence, whatever. I already told you when I did the review of the Ergo, it's a major cop. This is a major cop. So if you're curious, you know, this thing, wall guards fit right on here. So for all those wall people, this is perfect. And boy, oh boy, this is a major cop. So appreciate y'all for watching. I'm gonna get out of here. It's been your man, I Do It, signing out. I'll holla.